Bright Duty. Every student matters.
Hello students. Till now you have studied about coal, which is a fossil fuel, and it is an exhaustible natural resource, which means that after some time it will extinguish, right? Now we are on the second kind of fossil fuel, basically, that is petroleum. You must have heard about petroleum a lot many times. So students, what is petroleum? The word petroleum is derived from petra, which means rock, and oil, as it is mined from between the rocks under earth. So it is an oil which is found between the rocks present in our earth's surface, right? We have earth, and this is the crust of our earth, right? Here only, what do we find? There are different rocks, and in between these rocks there is an oil present, and that oil is known as petroleum. It is a natural resource. It is a fossil fuel. You will get to know how it is a fossil fuel. We'll be studying the story of petroleum as well. Now you also must have heard about petrol and diesel. Now petrol and diesel are obtained from a natural resource called petroleum. Petroleum is a natural resource, and we obtain petrol and diesel, both of these, from petroleum only. Petrol is used for lighter vehicles such as scooter and other vehicles, while diesel is used for heavier transportation. Right, students? So, let us now study about the story of petroleum. Now students, it was formed from organisms living in the sea. We studied about coal, which was formed due to the buried remains of dead animals and plants, right? How is petroleum formed? It is formed from organisms living in the sea. So it is obvious that it is found underwater, right? Now as these organisms died, their bodies settled at the bottom of the sea. There were organisms present in the sea. When they got buried under the salt and clay, under sand and clay, they got covered with layers of sand and clay, right? Over millions of years, absence of air and high temperature and high pressure. Now there are three important conditions. There was absence of air, the temperature was high, and the pressure was also high. These three conditions transformed the dead organisms into petroleum and natural gas, giving us very important two natural resources. One of them is petroleum and the other one is natural gas. Now how did we obtain it? Let us recall it again. Basically, the organisms present in the sea, in the ocean, got buried under sand and clay, and over millions of years, due to the conditions of absence of air, high temperature and high pressure, they got converted, they transformed into petroleum and natural gas, right? There is a picture in front of you explaining the phenomenon through a pictorial representation. Let us see. Also students, oil and gas are lighter than water and do not mix with it. You can do this small experiment at your home as well. Take any oil and pour it in a glass of water. You will see that the oil will float above the water. This is water and this is oil. Now why is that so? Because oil is lighter than water and it does not mix with it, because the densities differ. Oil has a lower density, so it floats over water. Now there is a picture in front of you. The first picture shows that ocean 300 to 400 million years ago, there were organisms present in the sea, right? Tiny sea plants, animals died, and they were buried on the ocean floor. This is the ocean floor, and they got buried under sand and clay. Over time, they were covered by layers of silt and sand, right? Now these were plants and animal remains. Here comes the sand and silt. Okay, over millions of years the remains were buried deeper and deeper. The enormous heat and pressure turned them into oil and gas, right? These plants and animal remains became oil and gas deposits. Now this is our machinery extracting this oil from under our surface on the earth. Today we drill down through layers of sand, silt and rock to reach the rock formations that contain oil and gas deposits, right? So this is the basic transformation of dead plants and animals into petroleum and natural gas, right students? This is a picture given in your book. This is again a representation. As you can see, this part is a reservoir rock. As we know that petroleum was found between the rocks present in our earth. Now there is water. This level is of water. Then there comes oil, and because gas is lighter than both oil and water, it is found over the oil reserves. This is gas. This is all oil, this part, and this is water, right? Now this is again a layer of sand, silt, rocks, etc. All this from here to here, it is again a layer through which we dig through our wells to obtain our oil, our resources and the natural gas. Right students, as you can see in this picture as well, water is at the lower level, then we have a layer of oil, and then we have a layer of natural gas. This is all related to the densities of all the three. Now students, what are the features of petroleum? It is a dark oily liquid. You must have seen, you cannot see petroleum, you only can see petrol, that is the refined form. Petroleum is a dark oily liquid. It has an unpleasant odor. It does not have a fragrance. It has an unpleasant odor. You would not like to smell it. Now it is a mixture of various constituents such as petroleum gas, petrol, diesel, lubricating oil, paraffin wax. Now can you see, all these are very, very useful to us. Every constituent has significance in our surroundings, right? So petroleum is a very, very important fossil fuel because it gives us numerous other resources which are useful to us, right? We are using all of these in our daily lives, especially petrol and diesel, which are on extreme use right now due to transportation purposes and other industries as well, right? So students, what is refining of petroleum? We cannot use the crude petroleum because it has a lot of impurities. The process of separating the various constituents, fractions of petroleum, is known as refining. Now we just got to know that petroleum is a mixture of a number of substances. Now to separate them and to obtain petrol, we separate these various constituents, and this procedure of separating these constituents is known as refining. There's a picture in your book as well which shows a place where refining is being done. Basically, refining is the separation of various constituents and fractions of petroleum to obtain them separately and to use them according to their properties, right? It is carried out in a petroleum refinery, right? Petroleum refinery is close to the wells where we extract oils, right students? So this was about refining of petroleum. Now students, now we know all about petroleum, so we have to know the uses of petroleum now. Why is it important to us? Why are we using petroleum in our daily lives? First of all, it gives us many important products. The first product being petrochemicals. They are used in the manufacture of detergents, fibers such as polyester, nylon, acrylic, etc., polythene and other man-made plastics. Petrochemicals are used for synthesis of many important products such as detergents, fibers and polythene and other man-made plastics. Then hydrogen gas obtained from natural gas. Natural gas is above the petroleum layer, right? So the hydrogen gas obtained from natural gas is used in the production of fertilizers such as urea. Urea I told you in the last lecture as well, NH2CO, NH2. This is urea. And urea is synthesized with the help of hydrogen gas, which is obtained from the reserves of natural gas, right? Now due to its great commercial importance, petroleum is also called as black gold because it is a dark liquid, it is black, and because it is extremely useful, it is extremely valuable, we call it gold. So it is black gold. So now we know all about petroleum, its origin, its uses, its value, its importance, right students? So now here there is a table in front of you. It tells us about the various constituents of petroleum and their uses. So let us dive into the table. First of all, the first constituent shown in your table is petroleum gas in liquid form, LPG. Liquefied petroleum gas is what we commonly know it as. Liquefied petroleum gas. It is, what is its use? You have LPG cylinders in your home. So fuel for home and industry. We use it for cooking purposes, that you must have seen. You see that daily in your house. So it is the first constituent, the useful constituent is LPG. Then petrol, motor fuel, aviation, solvent for dry cleaning. Petrol is something that you know already. Petrol is used as a motor fuel, which is the most important use. It is used as aviation fuel. It is used for solvent for dry cleaning. Then kerosene. Kerosene is a fuel for stoves, lamps and for jet aircrafts. Then diesel, again for heavy motor vehicles. I just told you that petrol is used for lighter motor vehicles, while diesel is used for heavier motor vehicles. Then electric generators. Diesel is used in electrical generators as well. Then lubricating oil. Simply for lubrication, for making a surface smooth, we use lubrication, and that lubricating oil is obtained from petroleum. Then paraffin wax. Paraffin wax is used to make ointments, candles, Vaseline, etc. Right? So all of these are useful. Then bitumen. I told you that coal tar was earlier used to make road surfaces, roads, right? Now bitumen is used for road surfacing. It is also used for making paints. So these are some very important constituents of petroleum and their uses. So students, now we have learned that coal and petroleum, both of them are extremely useful for us, and we must know that both of them are exhaustible as well. We must take care of these resources. We must take care of our steps when we use them, right students?